What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome back to the channel, your #1 spot for all things Buffalo Bills. Listen, our team is on a mission. Every single move this offseason has been about one thing: getting better, getting sharper, getting tougher. Every little adjustment is about one goal: bringing that Lombardi trophy home to Buffalo. Before we dive into today's major story, and trust me, this one is huge, do me a quick favor, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a minute of Bills action. All right, let's get into it. Now, we know Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott have been grinding. They addressed cornerback depth through the draft. They made some smart veteran moves. But even with all that, rumors are still flying, because when an all-pro player becomes available, especially one who could instantly elevate your secondary, you have to listen, right? Well, folks, that's exactly what's happening right now with Jaylen Ramsay. According to reports, the Miami Dolphins, yes, one of our biggest division rivals, are actively shopping Jaylen Ramsay this offseason. Not just listening to offers, not just maybe thinking about it, actively working the phones. General Manager Chris Greer told reporters over the weekend, quote, "We had conversations through the weekend with teams. Whenever it happens, we'll make the deal at the appropriate time. So it's not a matter of if Ramsay gets traded, it's a matter of when." Now, let's be honest. The idea of the Bills snagging a player like Ramsay, that would be massive. Even though Buffalo has already added young talent at corner, there's no such thing as too much firepower when you're talking about defending against quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud, and Lamar Jackson, especially in a loaded AFC. But, and there's always a but, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. First, Ramsay is 30 years old. While he's still playing at a high level, some around the league believe he may soon transition to playing more safety than corner, extending his career by reducing the demand for man-to-man coverage against speedsters. For a team like Buffalo, who values versatility and smart veteran leadership, that could actually be a plus. Imagine Ramsay roaming the secondary alongside Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, assuming Hyde is back healthy and ready to roll. The other reality we have to face? The Bills' salary cap situation. Right now, Buffalo is sitting at just under $5 million in available space. Bringing in Ramsay, even with some restructuring, would require some serious cap gymnastics. And don't forget, Miami holds the cards here. They're not just going to send an all-pro corner to a division rival unless they absolutely have to. Make no mistake, Mafia, trading for Jaylen Ramsay was always going to be a long shot. And now, with Miami making it clear they won't just give him away, that shot is looking even longer. It's just hard to imagine the Dolphins willingly sending Ramsay to Buffalo, knowing full well he could be the difference maker in a late season divisional battle or even a playoff game. You can bet if Miami gets offers from NFC teams or other AFC squads not named Buffalo or New York, they're taking those calls first. Now, let's play what if for a second. If the Bills somehow pulled off a trade for Jaylen Ramsay, what would it mean? It would give Buffalo arguably the best secondary in the entire AFC East, maybe even the NFL. You're talking about a trio of Ramsay, Christian Benford, and Kaiir Elam at corner, with Taron Johnson locking down the slot. Suddenly, facing Josh Allen every day in practice wouldn't even be the toughest part of the week for these guys. It'd be facing their own secondary. And think about playoff time. Locking down guys like Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Amari Cooper. Yeah, that's how you win in January. But it's not just about fit on the field. It's about fit in the locker room. Ramsay is known for his swagger, his confidence, and his edge. Would that vibe fit Buffalo's process-oriented culture? Honestly, I think it could, if managed right. Because the Bills don't shy away from guys with strong personalities as long as they're team first. Speaking of big names possibly on the move, there's some buzz out of Dallas too. Reports say the Cowboys are showing building interest in reuniting with former Bills wide receiver Amari Cooper, who originally entered the league as a top 5 pick out of Alabama, had a solid run with the Cowboys before moving on to Cleveland. Now, at age 30, the Cowboys might bring him back, especially since they didn't draft a wide receiver this year. Is Cooper to Dallas a done deal? Not yet, but it's another reminder that veteran playmakers are moving all around the league right now. And if Cooper ends up leaving Cleveland, Who knows? Maybe the Bills could look into other available WRs down the road too. But back to Ramsay, here's the big takeaway for Bills Mafia. Even if it's unlikely we land Jaylen Ramsay, the fact that Brandon Beane and the front office are rumored to be monitoring these situations tells you one thing: they are not done. They know how tough this conference is. They know what it takes to survive 18 brutal weeks and make it through January, and they're leaving no stone unturned to make sure Josh Allen, Von Miller, and the rest of this roster have every weapon, every edge possible. Now, we all know the Buffalo Bills just wrapped up a pretty busy 2025 NFL draft. 9 new rookies are joining the squad. A strong class filled with a lot of defensive talent and a few key pieces on offense. But here's the thing about building a winning team: it doesn't stop after the final pick. The real magic? It often happens when you find that hidden gem, the player everyone else passed on, and you turn him into a contributor, maybe even a star. And let me tell you right now, Bills Mafia, the rest of the NFL might have just made a huge mistake, because the Bills just signed undrafted free agent offensive lineman Jack Bobier. And this kid has the makings of a true sleeper. Let's talk about who Jack Bobier is and why you should be excited about this move. Bayer began his college career at Lamar University, competing in the FCS. He wasn't a household name yet, but trust me, the work ethic was there from day one. After 2 solid seasons at Lamar, he transferred to Arkansas State and took a major step up in competition, moving into the FBS and taking on some serious opponents week in and week out. And guess what? He didn't just survive. He dominated. Bayer started all 46 games he played during his college career. A rare level of consistency for an offensive lineman. And over the past 2 seasons at Arkansas State, he earned both first team and second team Sun Belt Conference honors. That tells you right away. This is a guy who knows how to perform at a high level and do it week after week. So the natural question is, how did he go undrafted? Honestly, it comes down to 2 things. First, he wasn't playing at Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State, schools where every player is under the national microscope. Second, in today's NFL, if you're not a massive, flashy 6'6", 330-pound mauler with viral highlight tapes, you can sometimes get overlooked, especially if you're a technically sound, dependable offensive lineman who just quietly gets the job done. But listen to these numbers. Last season, according to Pro Football Focus, Bayer earned an 80.3 pass blocking grade, a career high, and he allowed just 1 sack all season. 0 QB hits. Those are NFL caliber numbers, folks. This guy wasn't just holding his own. He was locking down defenders who, by the way, many of whom went on to be drafted early in 2025. And if you're wondering how he stacks up against elite competition, well, Bayer also got an invite to the Senior Bowl earlier this year. That's where the top seniors in the country go head-to-head under the watchful eyes of every NFL scout and GM. And guess what? Jack Bobier showed out. He consistently held his ground against some of the best defensive linemen in the draft. Guys who ended up being 2nd and 3rd round picks. That's when smart teams start taking notice. That's when you realize, hey, this guy might not be flashy, but he's a straight-up football player. So now that he signed with Buffalo, where does Bayer fit? Right now, the Bills' starting offensive line interior seems pretty locked down for 2025. We've got a strong group ready to protect Josh Allen. But depth? Depth is where battles will happen. And make no mistake, Bayer is coming in ready to fight for a roster spot. Specifically, I'm looking at him as a guy who could push to become the backup center. He's got the size, around 6'3", 310 pounds. He's got the footwork. He's got the football IQ you need at that position. And don't be surprised if the Bills also have him take some reps at guard during rookie minicamp and training camp. Versatility is the name of the game when it comes to building the back end of an NFL offensive line. This signing is a classic Brandon Beane move. Low risk, high upside. You bring in a kid who has proven production, a chip on his shoulder, and NFL level. Our tools, and you let him battle it out. Maybe he sticks as a backup. Maybe he surprises everyone and becomes a starter down the line. Maybe he just adds competition and pushes the whole room to get better. Either way, it's a win. And think about the bigger picture. You need a deep, tough offensive line if you're going to make it through the grind of the AFC. Protecting Josh Allen is priority number 1. keeping that running game humming with James Cook, Keon Coleman, and the new weapons. That all starts up front. So here's what I want to know from you, Bills fans. Should Buffalo still try to make a move for Jaylen Ramsay, even if it means giving up a mid-round pick and doing some cap juggling? Or do you think the smarter play is to stay patient, hold on to our picks, or maybe target another veteran at a better price later this summer? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. You know I read every single one. I want to hear it. Are you all in on Ramsay, or is it time to stick with the young guns? And if you enjoyed today's breakdown, you already know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and ring that bell so you don't miss any breaking Bills news. We're just getting started this offseason, Mafia. Big things are coming. As always, go Bills!